Good morning, Magic fans. We will be opening the Magicon Festival in a box with a bunch of Mystery Booster 2 packs. And by popular demand, I will be opening these with my feet. Just kidding, you guys are fucking freaks. Anyways, let's crack this bad boy open, huh? Breaking the seal. Promos and our Rakdos Diddly Bob. Here's the other side. That art's pretty cool. Our promo cards. Pretty sure this is, they're all the same. There's a Counterspell and a Consecrated Sphinx. Let's see if I can get it open. Test card in residence. When this enchantment enters, search your library for a legendary creature card with mana value X or less, exile it, then shuffle. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may introduce the exiled card using an introduction you haven't used this game. If you do, put that card onto the battlefield. It gains haste, exile that creature at the beginning of the next end step. Yeah, Consecrated Sphinx, Counterspell. They're really cool. Set those to the side. All right. Viva las Rakdos. Thank you, Secret Lair, for being a part of Secret Lair. Secret Lair. Look at that Talisman of Indulgence. Very cool. These all plastic packs, I don't know why they're so hard to open. There we go. This comes with Talisman of Indulgence, Dark Petition. Search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle. Spell Mastery. If there are 2 or more instant or sorcery spells in your graveyard, add 3 black mana. Lightning Greaves. Look at that. Those are cool looking. Beseech the Mirror. Sorcery, bargained. Search your library for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. If this spell was bargained, you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost if that spell's mana value is 4 or less. Put the exiled card into your hand if it wasn't cast this way. Light up the stage. Spectacle. Each exile the top 2 cards of your library until end of your next turn. You may play those cards. That's sick art. And a Fiend Hunter. Not sure how that's Rakdos, but you know. Mardu, same thing. When this creature enters, you may exile another target creature. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. you say we get to the mystery booster. Mystery Booster 2. Looks good. Looks good. Looks real good. Clearing off our area so we can crack some packs. We have got our Counterspell and Consecrated Sphinx. Those need to be what? Right about here. Barcy Acolytes. Twin Blade Paladin. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on Twin Blade Paladin as long as you have 25 or more life. Twin Blade Paladin has double strike. These packs are filled with so many solid cards. Looks like we need to adjust the light here, so let's do that. That's much better. Is it? Is it much better? Blue. That's not, is it? That's blue. Battlewing Mystic. There are very few commons that I recall getting in these packs. Endless Scream. Dusk Mangler. Embreth Shieldbreaker with an adventure of destroy target artifact, and then it's a 2/1. That's not bad. I don't think there's really any bad cards in the mystery boosters. They're all so good. Flame Elemental. They're either good or old and cool art, is what I have found. Ram through, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. That thing's sick. What a sick bite spell. Symbiosis. Target creature, 2 target creatures each get +2/+2 until end of turn. That was a cool art. Inside Out. Switch target creature's power and toughness until end of turn, and then draw a card. Vindicate. Destroy target permanent. Very cool. That's our first rare. We'll have our pile of test cards up there. Thought Vessel. Great Pauper card. Oh shit. Stacks. We're gonna be playing Stacks. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a soot counter on Smokestack. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a permanent for each soot counter on Smokestack. brutal. It does hit yourself too, but that's a good card. And a dairy cow. It's a cow. Moo. Adjust that camera just a little, huh? Ghostly Prison. Love to see it. I just put one of these in my Ketramos deck. Daru Spiritualist. Whirlpool Drake. Sejuri Merfolk. That's a decent common merfolk for sure. Puppet Conjurer. Skullport Merchant. Reckless Charge. It's a Zada card if I ever saw one. By force, destroy X target artifacts. That's a solid red artifact removal. Druid's Familiar. And Soulbound. Kavu Predator. Life gain strategy. God Pharaoh's Statue. Got one of these. Looks like it's okay. High mana cost. Ailey, Eternal Pilgrim, Core Cleric. 2/3 Death Touch. 1, sacrifice another creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. Pay 3 mana, sacrifice another creature, exile target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only if you have at least 10 life more than your starting life total. That's pretty good. Kitchen Finks. Interesting. An Ophi. An Ophi? What an oaf. Hunting Cheetah. This thing's really good at common. Whenever Hunting Cheetah deals damage to an opponent, you may search your library for a forest card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Don't miss those land drops. And Fludge Gunk Guardian. A Slugooze. Slugooze. I won't read every card so that you can just pause. I'll hold it up so we get a good clean shot of each card, and then you can pause it and read them. Knight of Meadowgreen. Rocks Meditant. Ledgermane. Swap stuff. Hey, I'll trade you my turd for your Tegrid. Familiar Ruse. Get it? Familiar, and it's a familiar ruse. Look at that art on that Fleshbag Marauder. That thing's cool. Make other people sack stuff. There's some synergy triggers for that for sure. Pratha Pillarbug. Ooh. What do we got here? Dead Gone. Dead deals 2 damage to target creature or Return target creature you don't control to its owner's hand in red. Interesting. Togo, Goblin Weaponsmith. Broodhatch Nantuko. Noose Constrictor. Boggart Ramgang. Part the Water Veil. Look at that. Probably not that good of a card, though, if we're being honest. Cathcar Commando, staple. A staple. Stifle. Solid counter. Maestro's totally safe hideout. Probably not totally safe. All right, next pack. Genju of the Fields. Starlit Angel. That is an old card. That has been power crept out of usefulness. Talas Researcher. Manowar. Bubbling Muck. That's a really good card. High Tide for black. Yes, please. Paragon of Open Graves. Thopter Engineer. We got one of those in the other box. Purifying Dragon. Horned Sliver. Venom Spout Brachus. That thing looks cool. Skybridge Towers. Tapped land. Wop wop. Timeless Dragon. A 5/5 with flying, plane cycling, or Eternalize. Pay 4 mana, exile this card from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie with no mana cost. Quite right. Pip, pip. Ancient Grudge. That's pretty cool. Rain of Daggers. We got one of these. Wormhole Warp. Exile target creature an opponent controls. That player reveals cards from their sideboard at random until they reveal a non-land card. They may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Okay. Okay, buddy. Sideboard shenanigans? I think not. Sentinel Sliver. Humanoid Sliver. Whack. Baffling End. Aqueous Form. Time of Ice. Aphotic Wisps. Fear. You're gonna have to look up that keyword, huh? Uborg Repossession. Volcanic Geyser. X damage to target creature or player. Just worse fireball. Scrapwork Mutt. Young Wolf. I got some cool foils of that one. Skyshroud Claim. Search your library for 2 forests, put them into play, then shuffle your library. That's a good one, because they don't come in tapped. Edgewalker. Cleric spells you play cost a white and a black less to play. This effect reduces only the amount of colored mana you pay. That's a good one. If you're playing Cleric Tribal. Oh no, I messed up my sorting. There, fixed it. The Haunt of Hightower. Whenever the Haunt of Hightower attacks defending player, discards a card. Whenever that card is put into opponent's graveyard from anywhere, put a 1/1 counter on the Haunt of Hightower. Man, I got a lot of stuff for a discard deck in these boxes. King Assassin. Destroy target tapped creature. Activate only during your turn before attackers are declared. Hoo-hoo, baby! Let's go! Dark Ritual. Look at that art. That thing's sick. Absolutely savage. And a wear hat. A wear what? Wear what? What? Where in the what in the what in the wide world of sports? Moving right along. Trap Runner. Griffin Guide. That common? That's an uncommon. Diplomatic Escort. She a prostitute? Just kidding. Think twice. Unseal the Necropolis. Supernatural Stamina. Pyre Wild Shaman. Shiv's Embrace. Outmuscle. Fight spell. That could be meh, as you know, in limited. Probably going to turn these mystery boosters into a draft environment after I pick out stuff for decks. Workaborough Elder. Quicksand. Got one of those last time too. Muxus. Let's go. When Muxus, Goblin Grandee, enters the battlefield, reveal the top 6 cards of your library. Put all goblin creatures with converted mana cost 5 or less from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Whenever Muxus attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other goblin you control. Muxus. Colossal Dreadmaw. Classic Dreadmaw. Ooh, Hostage Taker. When Hostage Taker enters the battlefield, exile another target creature or artifact until Hostage Taker leaves the battlefield. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. That's Mrs. Steal Yo Shit. And Teamer Elevator. Valorous Stance. Myth Realized. Hard Evidence. Viral Drake. Infect. Blue Infect. Fledgling Djinn. Bushmeat Poacher. Tin Street Hooligan. Electrickery, let's go. Moments Peace. Reusable Fog Effect. Hunter's Mark. That ain't English. Caminitore de Phyrexia. Luckily, I don't need to know what that says. But a 0-cost 0/3 artifact creature? Yeah. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with total mana value 20 or more. Woohoo! Brutal. Yeah, Darksteel Citadel. Brainstorm. With a sick art. And Teferi, Druid of Argoth. Miraculous Recovery. Desperate Lunge. Telekinetic Sliver. Turnabout. Fell Stinger. Unexpected Fangs. Put a 1/1 counter and a lifelink counter on target creature. Surprise, Chupacabra. Slavering Knolls. Rakdos discard strategy. Incinerate. Jaspera Sentinel. Kyrion Ranger. A little give and take. These packs are just filled with uncommons. Momir Vig, Simic Visionary. Whenever you cast a green creature spell, you may search your library for a creature card and reveal it. If you do, shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. Whenever you cast a blue creature spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put that card in your hand. Ayo! And you get to choose the order of those triggers if you cast a green-blue spell. Iona, Shield of Emeria. Flying. As long as Iona, Shield of Emeria enters the battlefield, choose a color. Your opponents can't cast spells of the chosen color. Mean card. Stack coming in. Contagion. You may pay 1 life and exile a black card from your hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Distribute 2 -2/-1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures. Interesting. And a Gobland. Gobland and a Mountland. Gobland and a Mountland. Angelic Exaltation. Faith Unbroken. When Faith Unbroken enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until Faith Unbroken leaves the battlefield. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. So, Sheltered by Ghosts before Sheltered by Ghosts. That is just not as good as Sheltered by Ghosts. Thassa's Emissary. Mistwalker. Dark Triumph. Bone Shredder. That looks freaking sweet. Rock Slide. Reckless Rage. Fyndhorn Elder. Tower Above. Until end of turn, target creature gets +4/+4 and gains Trample, Wither, and when this creature attacks, target creature blocks it this turn if able. Brutal. Telling other people what to do. Elfheim Palace comes into play tapped. Tap land. That's not fetchable. Sublime Epiphany. Oh my. Choose one or more. Counter target spell, counter target activated or triggered ability, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, target player draws a card. That's a lot of things. Thespian Stage. That looks good. That looks real good. Someone's playing really powerful lands? Well, so are you. Sensei's Divining Top. Sensei's Divining Top. Shenanigans? I mean, think so. Arcanium Things. Restoration Specialist. Oblivion Ring. Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. Stormbound Geist. Crypt Sliver. Bushmeat Poacher. Sticky Fingers. Enchanted creature has menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. When enchanted creature dies, draw a card. That is a good aura. That is a really good popper card if you're doing a Voltron popper, or that's a good popper card for sure. Battle Scrollion's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control, and it's a goblin. Gobbos. Oh my gob. Wood Elves. That's a good elf. Return to nature. Skittering Surveyor. Sedgemoor Witch. Menace. Ward. Pay 3 life. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with, when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. +1, draw a card at the beginning of the next end step, untap up to 2 lands. Down 3, put target non-land permanent onto its owner's library, 3rd from the top. And down 8, you get an emblem with, whenever you draw a card, exile target permanent and opponent controls. I mean, that's a win the game effect if I ever saw it. Cabal Ritual. We got a Dark Ritual. We got a Cabal Ritual. We'd be ritualing it. Wowzer, the aspirational. Wowzers. Wowzers. You need a snow and a colorless. And a, what is that? Oh, yeah. Miraculous Recovery. Militia Bugler. Aetherize, that's a solid card. Windstorm Drake. Moment of Defiance. Expunge. Charging Tuscadon. Has its own damage doubling effect. Molten Birth, that's a good card. Put 2/1/1 red elemental creature tokens onto the battlefield, then flip a coin. If you win the flip, return Molten Birth to its owner's hand. This is actually printed at Common in somewhere, and using that in a Pauper deck. Whew. Third Path Iconoclast loves that card. Destroy target artifact, battle, enchantment, or creature with flying. That's good. Not that anyone uses battles. Prize Fight. Guildless Commons. It's an interesting one. Bounce a land back to your hand. Comes in tapped, so not great, but does a thing. Gives you double colorless. Earthshaker Giant. When Earthshaker Giant enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. Typical big-ass mo-fucking green card. Worst Fears. You control target player during that player's next turn. Exile Worst Fears. Hi! Zombie Master. Other zombie creatures have Swamp Walk. Other zombies have pay 1, regenerate this permanent. That's pretty darn good in a zombie deck. That is really good. Subgoyf. Goyfing it. What in the goyf? It's goyfing. Goyfing, hoigen, boigen, floiken. Aven Squire. Angel of Vitality. Runaway Together. I like the art on this one. Runaway Together. Rishadan Cut Purse. I can read. Flicker that thing. That'd be mean. Vow of Malice. Chain of Smog. Target player discards 2 cards from his or her hand. That player may copy this spell and may choose new target for that copy. Oh yeah. That is a really good card for a discard deck. Ogre Arsonist. High cost for a land destruction with a 3/3 body. Merchant of the Veil. Changeling Titan. Champion a creature. When this comes into play, sacrifice it unless you remove another creature you control from the game. When this leaves play, that card returns to play. Yeah, for 5, a 7/7 Changeling. With a somewhat downside there. Backup 1. Streetwise Negotiator. Another God Pharaoh statue. Coalition Relic. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Put a charge counter on Coalition Relic. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, remove all charge counters from Coalition Relic. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool for each charge counter removed this way. Interesting. So if you can somehow get it all charged up, that could be decent. Stony Silence. Activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated. This box is full of mean stacks. Oh, Mindbreak Trap. If an opponent casts 3 or more spells this turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Exile any number of target spells. Someone trying to storm off? No, thank you. All-Star Kicker. No storming, please. That's what that card said. Mindbreak Trap. No thanks. You don't get to do a bunch of stuff in a row. Zada hates this one trick. Another Ghostly Prison. Let's go. Inspiring Overseer. Watcher for tomorrow. With Hideaway. This creature enters at the battlefield tapped. When it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom of your library. When Watcher for tomorrow leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into its owner's hand. That's decent. Divide by 0. Return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to its owner's hand. Learn. You may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand, or discard a card and draw a card. To draw a card. Interesting. That's definitely for like draft environment or 60 card with a sideboard. Dockside Chef. Expunge. Giant Cindermaw. Twinferno. Choose one. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy, or target creature you control gains a double strike until end of turn. Stand Together. That's cool art. I really like that art. Indrik Stomphowler. Boilerworks. Is it? Is it? It is. Insult to Injury. Damage can't be prevented this turn. If a source you control would deal damage this turn, it deals double that damage instead. Brutal. Injury Aftermath. Injury deals 2 damage to target creature and 2 damage to target player. Oh, Karn, the Great Creator. Activated abilities of artifacts your opponents control can't be activated until your next turn. Up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness, each equal to its mana value. You may reveal an artifact card from outside the game or choose a face-up artifact card you own in exile. Put that card into your hand. That's nasty. Scale Lord Reckoner. A 4/4 flying dragon. Whenever a dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. That dragon said, "Don't touch me." Glimpse the unthinkable. It has protection from choices. Cannot be chosen. Can't even think of it. Don't even think about it. Sentinel Sliver again. Hive Stirrings. More slivers. Whirlpool Drake. Freed from the Real. Tap, untap, shenanigans. Raider's Wake. Discard strategy stuff. Diabolic Servitude. When Diabolic Servitude enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. When the creature put onto the battlefield with Diabolic Servitude dies, exile it and return Diabolic Servitude to its owner's hand. When Diabolic Servitude leaves the battlefield, exile the creature put onto the battlefield with Diabolic Servitude. Searing Spear. Frenzied Saddle Brute. 5/4 with haste. All creatures can attack your opponents and planeswalkers your opponents control as though those creatures had haste. Heartwarden. Evolutionary Escalation. At the beginning of your upkeep, put 3/1/1 counters on target creature you control and 3/1/1 counters on target creature an opponent controls. Interesting. Nomad Outpost. Triland. Balance. Methinks this is good. Each player chooses a number of lands he or she controls equal to the number of lands controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacrifices the rest. Players discard cards and sacrifice creatures the same way. My goodness. Everyone else is ramping, and White said, nah, we're going at my speed. Stitcher's Supplier. Enters or dies. Mill 3 cards. The Natural Order of Things. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a green creature. Search your library for a green creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Whew! That is a green tutor, all right. Hish of the Snake Cult. I mean, for 4 mana to search your library and put any old green creature. I mean, we all know we're just getting a Colossal Dreadmaw, right? Abzan Battle Priest. Banishing Slash. Cerulean Wyvern. Snap. Oh, snap. I like that art. Chainer's Edict. Target player sacrifices a creature and it has flashback. So if you're trying to force other people to sack or something has indestructible and you want to get rid of it, Chupacabra. Unexpected Fangs. Convulsing Lycid. Convulsing Lycid loses this ability and becomes a creature enchantment that reads enchanted creature cannot block. Instead of a creature, move Convulsing Lycid onto target creature. You may pay red to end this effect. Interesting. Fists of Flame. Solid card. Great card for Zada. Crowl Harpooner. When Crowl Harpooner enters the battlefield, choose up to 1 target creature with flying you don't control. Crowl Harpooner gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Then you may have Crowl Harpooner fight that creature. Crashing Bears. If crashing boars, not bears, boars. Those are mean-looking boars. If Crashing Boars attacks defending player chooses an untapped creature he or she controls, that creature blocks Crashing Boars this turn if able. I'm going to make you stand in front of those piggies. Scuttlemutt. Scarecrow. Quain. Iterant Meddler. Rabbit Wizard. Each player may draw a card. Then each player who drew a card this way gains 1 life. He's just helping everyone out. Just a buddy. Just a buddy bunny. Gitaxian Probe. Look at target player's hand. Draw a card. Cantrip. Tormod's Crypt. Sacrifice Tormod's Crypt. Exile target player's graveyard. Graveyard hate. Can go in anything. Bullshack Dragon. Double not breaker strike. While attacking, this creature gets plus 1,000 power for each fire red card in your graveyard. I'm guessing this is a parody of Digimon? Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't know. Someone tell me. What is it? What's it a parody of? That looks like a parody to me. Well, looks like a dragon. A dragon man. Is it Trogdor? Trogdor! Slaughter the Strong. Elite Scale Guard. Pimmons Aura. Rewind. Blood Chief's Thirst. Grim Dancer. Fiery Impulse. Dwarven Blast Miner. Karstoderm. It does not like artifacts. Elven Bow. It's interesting. I like it. Kasali Ambusher. Cats. Oh snap. Questing Beast. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. Questing Beast can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. Whenever Questing Beast deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. Yeah, that's a good card. Lim Duel's Vault. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. As many times as you choose, you may pay 1 life. Put those cards on the bottom of your library in any order. Then look at the top 5 cards of your library. Then shuffle and put the last cards you looked at this way on top in any order. Okay. I see it. Top deck manipulation. Velucan Dragon. Velucan Dragon. When Velucan Dragon attacks or blocks, roll a 6-sided die. Velucan Dragon gets plus X plus 0 until end of turn, where X is the result minus 1. Random Strength Dragon. Vuzzle Spaceship. Spaceship 6. This creature enters with 6 1/1 counters. If it would be dealt damage, remove that many 1/1 counters instead. Its abilities are active as long as it has at least that many 1/1 counters. Thrusters 6. Flying. Lasers. Whenever Vuzzle Spaceship attacks, it deals 1 damage to any target. That looks cute. That's fun. That's a fun card. I could see that being a real card. Maybe they do something with that in the Star Trek set we're getting. What do you think? Barcy's Acolyte. Cardi Barcy. Nico Ona. Nico Ona comes into play. Destroy target enchantment. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, you may return Nico Ona to its owner's hand. Nice. Nice, nice. Drift of Phantasms. Body Double. You may have Body Double enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard. Yeah, that's not busted or anything. Not busted. 5 mana to do it, and you have to have either your graveyard with something cool in it or someone else's Weaponcraft Enthusiast, Aetherborn Artificer. Fabricate 2 when this creature enters the battlefield. Put 2 1/1 counters on it, or create 2 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature tokens. Dusk Mangler. Ancient Hydra. Fading 5. This creature comes into play with 5 fade counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a fade counter from it. If you can't, sacrifice it. Pay 1, remove a fade counter from Ancient Hydra. Ancient Hydra deals 1 damage to target creature or player. That's pretty cool. Orcish Lumberjack. Sacrifice a forest, add 3 mana in any combination of mountain and or forest to your mana pool. Yeah, that's not bad for a land sacking, what's that, the World Seed deck? That might go in there. Fortifying Draft. Squirrel Nest. Enchanted land has tap, put a 1/1 green squirrel creature token into play. Squirrel. Pearl Shard. Leovold, Emissary of Trest. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Mystic Sanctuary. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more islands. When Mystic Sanctuary enters the battlefield untapped, you may put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. That goes really well in that Third Path Iconoclast Pauper EDH deck. Kobolds of Ker Keep. A 0-cost, 0/1 Kobold. Interesting. Planewalker. Rippin' packs. This video is going to be a bit longer because we're going slower because there's so many good cards in here. Avon Squire. Daxos, Blessed by the Sun. White Devotion. Telekinetic Sliver. Disrupt. Counter target instant, interrupt, or sorcery spell unless its caster pays an additional 1. I didn't know that instants and interrupts were different. That's interesting. That is interesting. Strands of Night. Pay 2 and pay 2 life. Sacrifice a swamp. Put target creature card from your graveyard into play. I mean, that's pretty good in that same World Seed deck. Diabolic Servitude. Young Red Dragon. Bathe in Gold. Create a treasure token. Flying Young Red Dragon can't block. Shower of Coals. Nature's Way. Baloth? Baloth? Is it a Baloth? Woodcrasher? Wall of Denial. Defender Flying Shroud. Denied. Gretzky was denied at the net. Thorn Mammoth. Whenever Thorn Mammoth or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Thorn Mammoth fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. You want to fight about it? Transcendent Master. Holy moly. Human cleric avatar creature with a level up. Pay 1, put a level counter on this. Level up only as a sorcery. At level 6, 9 mana to get to a 6/6 with lifelink. And then 12 plus lifelink and indestructible 9/9. Interesting. At first glance, I thought it was a Planeswalker. Arena. Looks like a Deathclaw. Pay 3, tap it. Target creature you control and target creature of an opponent's choice they control. Those creatures fight each other. Repeatable fight land. I don't know what I think about that. Luxor Ignited. Got one of those in the other box. Syndic of Tithes, an Extort card. Cami of False Hope. Oh, that's a cool little fog dude in common. I might put that in my patched plaything pauper deck. Fate Stitcher. Leap. Rush of Vitality. Vindictive Vampire. Whenever another creature you control dies, Vindictive Vampire deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. Rending Volley. Can't be countered by spells or abilities. Deals 4 damage to target white or blue creature. Color hate decks are interesting, huh? Skewer the Critics. Predator's Strike. That is interesting art for Magic. It looks very Cartoon Network. Jewel Thief. That's a pauper card if I ever saw one. 3 mana for Vigilance Trample 3/3. When Jewel Thief enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Heck yeah. Fracture. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. I got a really cool art of this one, and it's not as good as I thought it is, but I like it. Expansion Explosion. Copy or burn. Ooh, this is good, right? This is good. This is a good card. Cathkar's Crusade. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. I mean, that's okay, right? It's not great or anything. Contamination. We got one of those in the last box too. Narad the Beige Flower. Slaughter the Strong. Angel of Light. Looter Il-Kor. Shifting Sliver. Vampire Link. That's a good pauper card. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life. It is not lifelink. Grim Dancer. That's pretty good. Gem Palm Incinerator. Gobbo Gobbos. Lava Dart. Titanoth Rex. Rampant Growth. Look at that ramp. Razorfin Hunter. Merfolk Goblin. Interesting. Elsha of the Infinite. 3/3 Prowess. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast non-creature spells from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, you may cast it as though it had flash. That's pretty good. Preordain. That's a cool Preordain. Preordain is a very good cantrip. Very, very good. Preordain and Brainstorm in unison. Very helpful. Counterbalance. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, counter that spell if it has the same mana value as the revealed card. And Glade of the Pump spells. Abzan Battle Priest. Settle Beyond Reality. Choose one or both. Exile target creature you don't control. Exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. You can flicker and get someone else's thing. Aqueous Form. Sorceress Sight. Twisted Abomination. Stir the Sands. Jaya, Venerated Fire Mage. If another red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage +1 to that permanent or player instead. Jaya, Venerated Fire Mage deals 2 damage to any target. A little damage increaser. Brute Force. Giant Growth in red. Solid card. Viridian Shaman. Hedge Troll. Opulent Palace. Hell's Caretaker. That's cool. Tap, sacrifice a creature, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only during your upkeep. That's bananas. If you can find a way to flash him in or keep him alive. Lavina, Azorius Renegade. Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands that player controls. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. That's good. That has gotta be valuable. That thing's nasty. Merchant Scroll, search your library for a blue instant card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. That's ridiculous. That's so good. At common? No way. Search your library for a blue instant card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. That's so good for 2 mana. At common? That has got to be a popper. Staple. Down to our last 3 packs. Come on, $1,000 card. Let's get one of those ridiculous foil, ridiculousness. Restoration Specialist. On Sarah's Wings. Aetherize. It's a good card. It's a good card. Skywatcher Adept. That's meh. Very meh. Undercity Informer. Uborg Repossession. Torrent of Fire. That could be good. Stormcaller. Gaia's Embrace. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample, and you could pay a green and regenerate enchanted creature. Invigorate. If you control a forest, you may have an opponent gain 3 life instead of paying Invigorate's mana cost. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. That could be nasty. Planner Atlas. It enters the battlefield tapped. When Planner Atlas enters the battlefield, you may look at the top 4 cards of your library. If you do, reveal up to 1 land card from among them, then put that card on top of your library and the rest on the bottom in a random order. They're after me. They're after you? They're after me. No, that's a fire truck. Did you know that you can tell what the sirens are? Because they are unique. It might not be a fire truck. I'm not sure. Pernicious Deed. X, sacrifice Pernicious Deed. Destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with converted mana cost X or less. That's nasty. That's a nasty card. Leyline of the Void. If Leyline of the Void is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. This is in my Ketramos deck. And I might swap it for that art. Court. Control of the court. Draw 4 cards, then discard 3 cards at random. Omen Path to Naya. Second to last pack. Force of Will. Oh, no, wait. Wrong packs. Something. Not shiny, though. Angelic Exaltation. Valorous Steed. Vaudeline Hypnotist. Mystic Subdual. Grave Shifter. Bone Shredder, another one. Love that art. Keldon Strike Team. Scoria Cat. If you're tapped out, it's stronger. Stinger Fling Spider. Nantuko Vigilante. Insect Druid Mutant. Blood Tithe Harvester. Grothma, All Devouring. Other creatures have. Whenever this creature attacks, you may have it fight Grothma, All Devouring. When Grothma leaves the battlefield, each player draws cards equal to the amount of damage dealt to Grothma this turn by sources they controlled. Veteran Explorer. When Veteran Explorer dies, each player may search their library for up to 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Interesting. Tinker. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice an artifact, search your library for an artifact card, put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle. That's good. That's real good. That's real good. That's good. I may not know Magic that well, but I know that card's good. Like, oh no, I sacrificed a food, and then I get a sword of wealth and power, or whatever the heck I want, as far as artifacts go. Irregular Cohort. Rambunctious Mutt. He's a dog. D-O-G. Expel from Orazca. Tempest Caller. Nezumi Prowler. Feed the Swarm. Sarkhan's Whelp. That's a dragon you get in early. Whenever you activate an ability of Sarkhan Planeswalker, Sarkhan's Whelp deals 1 damage to any target. Burning Palm Ifrit. Deglammer. Armorcraft Judge. Painted Bluffs. Peer into the abyss. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half of their life. Round up each time. That's crazy. That is crazy. Arcane Lighthouse. Until end of turn, creatures your opponents control lose Hexproof Shroud and can't have Hexproof or Shroud. Yeah, that's good. That's a good card. Aether Vial. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a charge counter on Aether Vial. You may put a creature card with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on Aether Vial from your hand onto the battlefield. It could eventually be an okay card. It's probably good in limited. Under construction Skyscraper. Well, we got some bangers. We got some good cards. I like it. I like it a lot. Mystery Booster 2 is a win. I love it. Great box. Worth it. If you had the chance, it was one of the few times that Secret Lair and buying from Secret Lair Festival in a box was definitely worth it. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, say I love you. Tell me I'm beautiful. Tell me how I should open packs next time with my feet again. Maybe I'll do it with my elbows. Who knows? All right, guys. Bye.